Hey guys, it's Anna Bradshaw here. I'm going to do a fun layout today. This is a layout all about my birthday. But first, here's a pretty little thank you card I made for my girlfriend Jen. Another little card for my friend Daphne. Did some ink splotches. This is a little sticker and some buttons, a die cut over here. And here's another card with a lot of die cuts on it. See how I cut this flower to fit in the corner? And then I use the other part on another card. Some little pop dots to lift this die cut off of this die cut frame. This was a leftover rectangle piece and I just trimmed off the edges and punched some holes, tied a little baker's twine. Remember, baker's twine is my theme of the month. I'm using that product on everything. So those are fun. This is a picture of me on my birthday, taking a picture of myself. And I collected some things from the casino that we were at. It's my little Happy New Year banner. I've also got some stamps by KI Memories, some little phrase stamps. There's some more die cut cards. And some of this one has like some playing card theme, and we did go to the casino. January 1st, because my birthday is New Year's Eve. This is the tag that came on my dress, and my dress, even though you can't see it under my coat, it was really shiny, and it's by Jennifer Lopez, and I was feeling bootylicious in it. Piece of Alpine SEI, leftover piece of wood grain advertisement that came in the mail. I used that on a card. You can see that on my blog. And then this other die cut is a Valentine's die cut, but it has the word date on it. That's what I was going to use. Here's some little paper flowers. So these are some things that were left over from projects that I've been working on. I was going to use this little button, and then I turned it over and I happened to see it has a green sparkly A on it, so I'm going to try to incorporate that. My colors are going to be like black and gray, pink, and then kind of this orangey, fiery, orangish color. And I was actually inspired to buy this by a movie that I saw by Paige Taylor Evans. It was a two-piece video. And in it, she was also scrapbooking a fun like party scene. And actually watching that video was what inspired me to start thinking about this layout long before my birthday ever came, New Year's Eve ever came. And so I was kind of thinking about my plans, and in fact that's what we ended up doing, was something that would allow me to scrapbook and have a cool dress and look party-rific. So I've also got some black photo corners and some glitz frame stickers, and these stickers are so remarkable. They're almost like a transparent Klingon, but it's sticky. They're really nice and thick and beautiful. And these are really old. These are some white letter stickers. Here's my guy and I out on New Year's Eve, my birthday, and you can see a little bit more of my dress here. Now what happened with this photo was I had digitally enhanced or cropped out a mark on the photo. If you look carefully, you can see this little black spot on my leg that doesn't exist. It's like a weird thing with my tights. So I had blurred that out on photo editing. It doesn't show up on this photo, but it does show up on this photo. Anyway, why did I print them this way? I didn't do it on purpose. I actually printed the photo, and then I saw that it had that black mark, so I printed it again on the other side of the paper, and this is the way it turned out. So that's pretty cool. And I just like the effect of it. So what I'm thinking is to use it this way. So let's see what happens here. One of the things I really like to do when I'm starting to build a layout is just leave my pieces of pattern paper in full 12 by 12 form and kind of stack them on top of each other until I have an idea where I want to cut. So I'm going to use this piece of Dear Lizzy paper, and it's a piece of pattern paper that came from a pack of like 25 that they had at Big Lots on sale for $3. And I was so proud of myself for not buying it when I was in the store that I went to the parking lot and called my best friend and cried a little bit. No, I wasn't really crying. I was actually really proud of myself for being so thrifty and not getting this extra piece of paper, even though it was such a great deal. It's really hard for me to pass up a good deal. So of course, being the good friend that she is, she went to Big Lots, a store that she'd never gone to, just to get me the piece of papers that I couldn't live without, and now I can use them on every single layout that I make for the next 25 layouts, if that's what I decide to do. So on this one, I'm just going to, this paper has like a Polaroid border around it, so I just cut it down and I'm going to use that to map my photo strip here. Now I'm looking for something to mat these two other kind of striking photos of us, and I want to convey some emotions with the colors that I'm choosing, and it was a very we'll just use the word passionate night for me, and so I'm going to use this red behind us to just really kind of draw that conclusion with the eyes, that there was some sparks flying in the night. And you can see I'm not concerned with measuring. I'm just going to use my photos as my guide. Once I've got my basic photo mat cut, then I can crop my photos and make some adjustments in my mat size after I've got it already done. That way I'm not working with this big bulky piece of 12 by 12 paper. Going back to what I was saying about color choices, you know, you can use color to convey a lot of emotion. For instance, I know when you're giving roses, if you give white roses, it symbolizes friendship. If you give red roses, it symbolizes more like passion. And then you can see the background energy. I was going for like kind of a disco party energy going with that. Even the soft peach color of the background of this Dear Lizzy paper, it's got that really sweet kind of just a lovely feeling, and that's what I really felt like. It was one of the most loveliest birthdays I've ever experienced. Now the other part of the story that I want to be telling on here is kind of just that I felt really confident that night, and so I really loved the way that my dress looked, and I just felt like my guy had his eyes, you know, completely on me the entire night. And this picture that I got of him, you know, the way that he's posed, he just happens to be looking up, and the way that the photo printed out, I like that it looks like he's looking at my legs. I know that's one of his favorite parts about me, besides my intellect and my extremely good mothering and crafting skills, of course. So what I'm thinking, that in order to get what I want to be shown on here to fit, I'm going to have to move my large photo mat over. So I'll just trim off the edge, and I don't feel bad at all for the work that I've put into having made that photo mat in the first place to make it look like a photo, like a Polaroid, because like I said, I've got a whole bunch more of this paper. And it's okay to change your mind or change the direction that you're going with once you started. It's just paper. I have to keep reminding myself that when I'm working. It's just paper. And if I use this paper up, then I will have an opportunity to be able to purchase more if I'm looking for an excuse for that. So now I'll just rip some paper. I'm going to tear the paper towards me so that the white core shows through. And now get rid of this excess paper that I don't need. Of course, I'm not going to get rid of it. It's going to go in my scrap bucket. I have a brand spanking cleaned out scrap bucket for this year, so I'm excited to be able to fill it up again. And it looks to me like I need to round these corners just a little bit. It looked kind of awkward that they had like a straight edge there. And I like this distress look that's going on right here, so I'm actually going to distress the mat here too. And I'll just use my ruler and run it along the edge here. I'm kind of using my thumb also. Sorry, it was off camera there. But I'm just kind of using the paper and basically bending it over. And if it gets a little bit torn or anything, I don't care about that. I'll just kind of work it until it looks distressed in the way that I like. And here's a piece of paper that I highly recommend you try doing something like this. Contact paper with ink. It's so awesome. You can just punch out shapes, you can tear pieces off, and the entire back of it is adhesive already. So it's like a giant sticker page. You can use it however you want to, but anyway, I'm going to use it to add some additional layers, and also my favorite color is purple, so I was hoping to work some of that in, and I'm glad I got a chance to be able to. I love how the shine of the Heidi Swapp color mist, whatever it's called, it has like a metallic purpleness to it. I like that. So everything's looking really good here. And I like that over here the numbers, they read down 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is I plan on journaling about the midnight kiss there. Let me figure out something cute to do with this headband or the feather. Alright, so I've gone ahead and cut my little headband feather off and put it right here in the corner, kind of to draw attention to my sexy legs. And then I cut a piece out of the middle of the back here. On New Year's Day we went to this amazing Thai restaurant that had incredible ambiance, and I love how relaxed Ray looks in this picture. I saw him here as I was leaving the casino, and he just looks so at peace. And I was thinking about putting them on this paper. I thought that the peachy red colors looked really nice with this, but it's like too busy for me. So then I tried the back, because sometimes I find that if I don't like one side, then I just turn it over and I think, oh wow, that's perfect, but I didn't like the back on this either. One of my goals this year is to use up some of the things that I have that are beautiful. So I was like, what is one of the most beautiful things I can think of? And I came up with this Hambley screen printed doily. And it's like a silver, my background over here is silver, and it's craft, which is what I had intended originally to do on this side. I was trying to think of something neutral, and I love how it matches the this kind of taupe color in the background here. So I'm going to go ahead and build my layout on this, and what I'm thinking of doing is because of the relaxed setting and the drapes in the background here and then the fireplace, I'm going to try to make it look like wallpaper back here. So this is from Basic Gray's Little Black Dress collection, and it's just a piece of scrap paper. I'm not going to worry about cutting it down to size or measuring where it's got to go perfectly yet, because I'm still playing. And chances are something like this is going to cover up that area anyway. So I'll just move the photos around until I think that I've got them about where I want to go, and I like this placement better. And then my other great idea was to use something that I don't use very often, which is my square punch. So I chose some papers from my stash. One is this from Authentique, and then I also chose just a regular piece of 12 by 12 chipboard that comes, you know, on the back of, like when you buy a die cuts with a view stack or something. So I just save things like that, and I use them to cut out these squares. And I thought in my mind that they reminded me of, like, here's another piece of that little black dress, and on this side it has really kind of like a sexy print that's like lace, black lace over cream. And it's funny because I used this paper to make some Christmas stockings for my friends that sell close to my heart for one of our holiday parties one year. It's like they're sexy stockings. And the other side is a really dark wood grain, and I'm not sure if that goes or not. I might need to, put some ink around the edges, or maybe put some extra embellishments on a space like that.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna count all the stones on the beach. Do you wanna count the stones with me? I'm gonna count all the stones on the beach. Do you wanna count the stones with me?
I had the great idea of using this pattern to have it kind of look like a little bit of ink splashes, or just a little bit of, you know, extra fun on this paper. But when you're using your punches, look for little designs that you can kind of punch out and use in there. One thing I really like here, it looks more like the window, like the light is coming from in this direction. I like that. I like that effect. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it with the full and keep it in this area. Now I think I need some kind of a mat behind here, and I have this paper and this paper also to pull in from this side. Looking at this little scrap here, it looks like a perfect place for this picture, so I'm going to go ahead and use this, and then I'll give it the same treatment that I did on the other side too, where I used the ruler to just distress the edges just like so. You could also use the edge of your scissors like this. I'm not going to do that over my layout, but that's how the effect you'd use. And then I also have this neat tool from Close to My Heart. It has just blades basically and a whole bunch of knot spaces, and you can pull that. I'm also not going to do that over my layout. The ruler is nice because it doesn't cause like a lot of bits of floating paper falling down. If the paper rips, it's no big deal. It's just adding to that distressed look, and you can always you know, kind of put it back into place, or use some of the white core. If your paper is white, has a white core, you can use that to your advantage also. You can think of the white core of the paper almost like ink. Okay, so let's see how this fits in here now. I really like that. And then I need to, you know, I kind of like Ray just sitting here in the corner without very much embellishment, but I do want to give him something to sit on here. Maybe one of these die cut tags will work. Here's one that says Love Adventure. Ooh. I've got another one that says Good Fortune, and this other tag that has like a little, oh, I don't know, just a little empty spot on the bottom. It could make a great place to put the date. And then I've been looking for a place to put some journaling, so I think this tag will work really good over here. I don't mind that it covers up the pink peachish background because I have the frame. That's basically what I wanted it for, and you know, it's okay, like I said, to change your mind in mid-design. It usually works out fairly well in the end. Alright, I had a little bit of trouble with my glue, but I've got it worked out, and I'm going to use some of these photo corners. I'm going to pick a couple places to put these, and it just kind of helps draw the eye to certain areas that you want some focus on. I had adhered this photo down already, so I'm just going to cut off kind of the bottom of the photo corner and stick it right on top of the photo. Nobody's ever going to be able to tell the difference. Things are looking pretty good here. Here's a little bit of a close-up. Can kind of see what I've got going on here, down here. And of course I'll have some still photos at the end of the movie, so stay tuned. Okay, remember that Jennifer Lopez dress tag that I had? I'm going to use it to put my like the title for this page, which is going to say double-digit birthday, and then I'm going to put the number 33 in the middle here. So I'm just going to cut off the bottom, and then it actually came with a really nice safety pin. I'm going to poke it right through my paper and just let it kind of dangle on the page, and then once I have it in the place that I think I'm going to want it, I will go ahead and put a glue dot back there to hold it securely. Now I'll get out my large file folder of alphabet stickers, and I'm looking for some purple. So I basically have all my purple letter stickers in one place, and I can just go through and decide, okay, which purple ones do I like? These are the first ones that I like. They're probably what I'm going to go with, but I really want to use these glittery ones, but they're not really working for me. So I'm going to go with the more subdued, smaller font, and these match the Fancy Pants letter stickers that I just laid down. That tone-on-tone gray is really, I really like it. It's just kind of like sophisticated and very subtle, and then the POW with the 33, that is my age. Now you know. So now I'm thinking it would be really fun to do something unexpected on these squares. I was just going to kind of go around the edges with some ink, and then I thought, instead of just doing a simple inking, why don't I do some splatter inking? I'm trying to be more free in my thinking. And if you think about the way a small child would react if you give them the option of splattering or not splattering, what do you think they would choose? They would choose splattering. And I happen to have some new Color Shine Amethyst color, the purple, and if I want it really sparkly, I can shake it up a whole bunch. If I don't want it too sparkly, I can not shake it a whole bunch, so I want both of those effects. And I noticed that this kind of ink comes out really fast when you put it, when you take it out, so if you want big drops, that's great. If you don't want big drops, then you need to kind of tap it against the inside, just like fingernail polish basically. Off really easy. Now the other that I have is some Black Magic. It's Glimmer Mist, and Glimmer Mist, if you spray it from up high, it really does do a nice misting. And now I'll go shake up this Color Shine, get a little bit more metallic in there. Okay, that's about does it for the inking on me. I love the way it looks, and it will dry fairly quickly. In the meantime, I'm going to search for some threads, something to hold up these fortunes. So my theme for this month has been baker's twine, and I see some baker's twine in black, brown, and white. It's been kind of a go-to color for me this month. It's really neutral. And we'll just see how it looks when I string them on here. I might do some kind of a decorative tie here. I don't care if the thread gets into the ink at all. So I'm going to try just looping the thread back through and keeping it on the outside of this shipping tag. And then thread it back through again. Ooh, I like the way that looks. It's just something a little bit different. It kind of looks sewn almost. Okay, so I'll just tie a little knot back here.
Do you do a lot of sewing on your pages? I love the way it looks, but I don't see myself setting up my sewing machine and using it on very many layouts. But I'm thinking that might be a good goal, maybe by this summer, and maybe you'll start seeing a little bit of that on my pages. Honestly though, I really just love to just draw a couple dash lines on and do some faux stitching on my pages. Let's go ahead and move these
over here. I've got some tape already on them.
Again, I'm not going to be real particular about how I measure out placement on here. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and it's really nice when you're working with a striped background like this because at least your columns are going to be straight. I would be using my handy dandy Tim Holtz clear ruler, but it's so clear I can't find it. Take a look at how gorgeous this ink splatters turned out. I love the metallicness to it. And you know, if you're going to be doing some ink splattering, you might as well put a piece of paper behind what you're doing and see if you know what happens. You might want to use it. Like for instance, if I would have had a piece of paper here instead of my craft mat, I could have, you know, some little windows already pre-made on my page. Let's go ahead and clean this off. And oh man, there's just nothing like a clean mat, is there? I'm getting a bit anxious to start doing some stamping. I've had these stamps for a really long time, so I'm glad to be using them on something. I've got some brown ink picked out, and well, first I want to show you how I'm going to adhere my baker's twine to make it my little loops that I make stay in place. So I'm sorry that you can't see what I'm doing here, but basically I just used my Herma dot roller and loop de loop. Look at that, it's pretty. Over here I'm going to just put the dot roller right on the page. What's really nice about the dots is that anything that you don't want to be on there, you can just kind of rub it over with your finger and the dots come right off. Just don't rub with a dirty finger because then you get dirt on your page. Remember how I said I don't care about whether or not this edge is straight or if it has a little chunk missing out of it? That's because I planned on covering up with something, and I didn't know what I was going to use at the beginning of this layout, but this is a great opportunity to kind of bring in some more of those colors from the left hand side. So I've got a couple little strips and I'll just line them up, cut little banner shapes into them, and then now I can use my stamp. First, let's use the paper trimmer to clean up this edge a little bit. I'm going to use clear stamps, which allows me to stamp over the same word and not have it look scummy. And so I'm going to start with the word sparkle. Then in the middle, I'll stamp dazzle, and then I'll use my fancy pants letters again to write out the word shine. Grab some Versamark and then stamp shine, 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 shine all around the corner of this page. Sparkle, dazzle, and shine. Good goals for New Year's, right? While I'm laying down my letter stickers here, I'll let you know I'm part of a blog hop today. It's a DieCutCrazy blog hop, so you can go from my blog to all the other contributors. There's some really crafty ladies that I work with on that magazine, so go ahead and check out what they've got to tell you. We've each got a little Valentine's tutorial. Mine is all about punched shapes in your background and kind of how to use those in some different ways. And maybe you've never had a chance to read the DieCutCrazy magazine. If you haven't, I highly encourage it. It's full of amazingly creative ideas, and I happen to have an article all about some tantalizing background textures in the November 2013 issue, so go ahead and check that out. Remember, if you leave a comment on everyone's blog for the hop, you could win a 6-month subscription. Here's some close-ups of the way that title turned out, and the baker's twine. A full shot of my layout. The little punch shapes can be easily dressed up by some stickers. I just use some Authentique coordinating stickers here. Adds a little pop of fun. Some stamping close-ups. That Dear Lizzy paper has the number strip on the bottom. Journaling about how Ray always makes my dreams come true, my dress tag title, and another shot of my entire layout. So head on over to my blog and check out what I and the other blog hoppers have to tell you about Valentine's tutorials, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.